Welcome, Q. How are you this evening?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing so good. It is such an honor to sit down and speak with you, um, to hear your story. I just want you to know that this is your story. You can pause, skip, or redirect at any time. There is no right or wrong way to tell it. Um, so let's start it off. How does it feel to sit down and tell your story in your own words?
What I just did is hell and breath.
Mm, mm. Has anyone ever asked you to tell your story?
No, I don't believe so. I mean, I was asked somewhat partially during therapy to tell bits and pieces of my story,
Hmm.
but not the collective story.
Okay, all right. Well, let's jump right in. Where were you born and raised?
So I was born in a small town called Aberdeen, and I was raised in Columbus, Mississippi.
Okay. And how far is Aberdeen from Columbus?
Probably about a 20, maybe 25-minute ride from actual Columbus.
Okay, okay. What do you remember most about your childhood home?
um, Silence, things unspoken.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, silence and things unspoken.
Okay. Who felt safe to you when you were growing up?
My grandma was probably the safest person to me when I was a child.
Okay.
She was the person in the space because I would actually leave my childhood home
Mm-hmm.
and I would go and find refuge at her house when I needed safety.
Okay. So you and your grandma was really close.
Correct.
What fun things that you and your grandma do?
Um,
Or
but
what kind of bonding did you
yeah,
and your grandma
yeah,
have?
yeah. Because fun things probably not so much, but we did used to do a lot of bonding. Like we would talk. I would even go on walks with her. We would go work in her garden. But outside of that, the other, the only other things that we did when I was with her was just pretty much watch TV.
Oh, okay. What was her favorite show?
In the heat of the night.
Oh, why am I not surprised? So, what were you like as a kid? Were you quiet, curious, rebellious, protective? Like, tell us.
I would say that I was both quiet and curious. So I've always had a inquisitive mind. Like if there was something that interests me, I had to find out everything possible about whatever it was that interests me.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of me being outspoken, I was one of those that I didn't feel like I had a voice.
Uh-huh.
So in that sense, I was quiet. So I would keep quiet about a lot of the things, more particularly about the things that I was feeling.
Uh-huh.
But if it's something that I was curious about, then obviously I'm going to talk about those things to the extent possible if I can get other people to be interested in what I'm talking about in that moment.
Okay, now I've heard stories, and the stories that I heard, it made it sound as if you were like a little bit destructive. So, what's that about?
I don't think that I was destructive. I think that I was being a kid.
Okay.
And you know how elder people are. If a kid, jump on the couch, they're being bad. If they accidentally break a glass, they're being bad. It's not like I just intentionally, go and take things and just break it on purpose. But
Okay.
I just did mischievous things or had accidents, but that was interpreted as I'm being mischievous.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. What were the unspoken rules in your household?
Ooh. Well, the first one that comes to mind is always protect the family name.
Mm.
That is literally the first one that comes to mind. Is to protect the family name. And with that comes, we don't necessarily speak about things that go on inside of these walls, regardless of whether they're good or bad, unless the adults speak about it 1st.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about those things. And even if the adults speak about it first, you have to kind of like tread lightly about what you repeat. because that can end in probably some trouble right there.
Okay.
And then again, I go back to me being curious. If I hear something and I'm curious about it, my first thought, and let's clarify that curiosity also sometimes means nosy.
Right.
So if I'm curious about something, part of me wanted to ask more questions because I'm like, oh, they said this. Let me go see if I can find out more information.
Oh, okay. How was love shown or not shown in your family?
So that is something that is debatable in my opinion because it's based off of what is normalized.
Mm-hmm.
So you can base that off of what did you receive as love, but have since determined that there wasn't. But we're not going to talk about that part right now. But I would say that, in a sense, love was more or less interpreted as transactional.
Okay.
I do for you, you do for me, or vice versa. You do for me, I do for you. And that was interpreted as love.
Mm-hmm.
Now, every once in a while, there would be some hugs, some kisses, but those were few and far in between.
Okay. What responsibilities did you take on early in life?
Okay, that's a good one as well. I can recall probably at around the age of maybe 6 or 7, I did have chores.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was washing dishes, sweeping. Obviously, I had to make sure that I had my own room cleaned up, but that's a given. But there were some other things as well, like mowing the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
That was a chore that we had to do at that age. And not only just doing our lawn, apparently because we had a truck and we had a lawnmower, my brother and I, we were tasked to not just do our lawn, but we had to do both of my grandmother's lawn and 2 of my aunt's lawns as well.
Okay.
All for no pay, by the way. Well,
called building character.
They had children of their own. Their children should have built their own character.
Understandable. Understandable. Was there a moment in your childhood that shaped how you see yourself today?
I wouldn't necessarily say that there was a moment in my childhood that shaped how I see myself today. I would say that there was moments in my childhood that I knew that I did not want to mimic. And because I didn't want to mimic those, I decided to do something different, if that makes sense.
Okay. Would you like to expound upon that? Would you like to give an example?
100%. We can start with parenting. I knew that the way that I was parented, I knew that that was something that I did not want for when I had children. When it comes to how I engaged with my wife, looking at the examples that I seen growing up, I knew that was something that I didn't want. So I decided to do those things different. Even when I look at how traditionally relationships were, where pretty much the women were subservient, some of them were even actually physically abused. I knew that those were things that I didn't want to mimic.
Okay.
If we look at even the employment,
mm-hmm.
With the small town mindset that you graduate from high school and you go right away working in a factory, that's not something that I wanted to do. So I decided to do those things different.
Okay. Okay. So as we wrap up the first part of your series, what did the younger you need that you did not get?
A voice. A space to use my voice. Validation for my emotions. Permission to feel everything that I was feeling. Yeah. That would be what the younger me needed.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me. I look forward to our next episode.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you again.
Well, thank you for sitting down with me.
All right.